from the Spreaker podcast player app.
Facepalm America, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Beowulf Rock on facepalmamerica.com. If you should choose to reach out to us with a message or a desire to speak with me on this program, you can do so at 202-656-6271. Is Donald Trump still speaking at the convention? That was a long-ass speech. Let's check in. Is he still there? I'm not sure.
Crimea. Under the current administration, Russia is after all of Ukraine. Under President Trump, Russia took things.
Yeah, he's still there, still speaking, still putting people to sleep. Yeah, okay, good to know. Well, he'll be there for a while, I suppose. In the meantime, there's real stuff going on in the real world. Not all the damage is being caused directly by Donald Trump, it's true. Dollar General, for example. I brought up Dollar General before. Hey, when I was a kid, I used to love going to Dollar General because I could buy something for $1 and it was cheap and I didn't care and I was a kid and I didn't have much allowance and my money went a long way. I get it. Sometimes that's the only alternative for people. And sometimes that's the best place you can get a thing in an era of inflation. Although it's not even a dollar store anymore. It's $1.25 now. Used to be literally a dollar store. So Dollar General. I guess I used to mostly go to Dollar Tree. Dollar General, there's one in my town, has agreed to pay $12 million in penalties. $12 million. Doesn't seem like much for a company like Dollar General. $12 million in penalties and improved safety at its nearly 20,000 stores across the U.S. after claims that the discount retailer put its employees in danger with its practices, the Labor Department said. Hey, the Labor Department did something. That's great. Yay, Labor Department. I'm glad they're taking some action. But $12 million, that's not enough, guys. Raise those penalties a little bit more. In a news release last week announcing the settlement, the Labor Department said that Dollar General will have to significantly reduce its store inventory and hire new safety managers, provide health and safety training, and develop a safety and health committee for employees. Let's see if that actually happens. I'm not holding my breath. The agreement also outlines that Dollar General must correct any future safety violations regarding blocked exits or access to fire extinguishers and electrical panels within 48 hours or face fines up to $500,000 per violation. Now that would be something. $500,000 times 20,000 stores across the U.S. Then now we're talking some serious money. Let's do that. Let's get on that. The Assistant Secretary of Labor for Occupational Safety and Health, Douglas Parker, said in the statement that the settlement demonstrates Dollar General's commitment to making worker safety a priority. If you follow up on it, sure. He said the chain will implement significant and systemic changes in its operations. We'll see. We will see. Since 2017, Dollar General has faced millions of dollars in penalties as the discount chain was issued more than $15 million in fines for numerous willful, repeat, and serious workplace violations, according to a 2023 OSHA news release. Look, Dollar General makes billions. It makes a lot more than $12 million in profit every year. It's a huge company. Let's add some zeros to the ends of those fines. How about the next time they do it, we add a zero to the end and make it, $120 million. And then the next time they do it after that, we'll make it $1.2 billion. How about that? Or better yet, how about like we end this ridiculous penalty thing and we actually put the CEO in prison? If they continue to do this, if they put people at risk Let's criminally charge them. Let's, forget this negotiation. Let's put them in jail. Why don't we do that? Maybe that'll solve the problem. I think it just might. Let's give it a shot. Say what? In 2023, OSHA inspectors discovered that the discount retail chain continuously exposed its workers to unsafe conditions in 2 store locations in Florida and in 1 in Alabama. In July 2022, inspectors found that merchandise blocked exit routes at a Dollar General store in Alabama. The chain was issued citations for 2 repeat violations, racking up nearly $205,000 in fines. That's not nearly enough. And in recent years, the discount chain stores have also been targets for robberies and violent crimes. Since 2014, nearly 50 people have died, and 172 have been injured in Dollar General stores across the U.S., according to data from the Gun Violence Archive, a nonprofit organization that tracks gun use across the country. 50 people! So, 50 people have died. It just sounds like a statistically unsafe place to be, a Dollar General. Look, Labor Department could give them a chance to get their act together. It sounds like they've had several chances to get their act together, because over the course of the last 6-7 years, they've accrued millions of dollars in penalties. This isn't the first time. Throw their CEO in jail. Make it happen. You're the federal government. You can do that, actually. Put them on trial, prosecute them, put some money behind it, throw them in jail. That's what we need to do. So, I want to take a moment here before we end the show to talk about something that, I wouldn't ordinarily talk about, and that's Shannen Doherty. I know who Shannen Doherty is. I knew who Shannen Doherty was when I was a young person. Beverly Hills 90210 was pretty ubiquitous, especially when I was going to college around that time, like late high school, early college. I never watched it, but I know a lot of folks who did. Like in my college, it's so adequate to say this. In my college TV lounge, when I was in college, there were TV lounges because, yes, most people did not have their own TVs, and they certainly, in a college dormitory, didn't have a little thing in their pockets that they could constantly, stream video content on. So it was a different ancient era. And folks would, go to the TV lounge, and they would watch TV, and they would, talk to each other. Not text each other, but actually, talk, and see their one another's faces, in real life. And touch each other. Yeah, it was college. And I think it was like 90210 fans, it was more of a female demographic, but there were a lot of guys there too. A lot of guys especially who wanted to hang out with some of the young women there. I know that was a big draw for some males of my age, of my era. But Shannen Doherty, as you may have heard, passed away. She was a star of one of the stars of Beverly Hills 90210. She was just in her early 50s, but she passed away of breast cancer. And she was 53. She had fought breast cancer for years. Her illness was publicly revealed in a lawsuit filed in 2015 against her former business managers. And that kind of is the crux of why I want to talk about her right now. There's an article that I've got here from ABC News from August 20th, 2015, that talks about how that came out and reveals some of the details. And it says this: actress Shannen Doherty is accusing her former business managers of being crooked and claims in a new lawsuit that they not only stole from their clients, but habitually blundered the tasks they were hired for, including paying her insurance premiums. The Beverly Hills 90210 star revealed that she's battling breast cancer, that she says worsened because her former business managers allowed her health insurance to lapse. This is a case about crooked business managers who not only stole from their clients but habitually blundered the most critical tasks of the profession, alleges the lawsuit filed Wednesday against Tanner Mainstain, Glynn and Johnson and its former business partner, Stephen D. Blatt. Tanner Mainstain is the name of the company. She alleged that Tanner failed to pay her premium for 2014 after receiving an invoice in November 2013. The firm then terminated its relationship with Doherty in February 2014, after which time she discovered that her insurance premium had not been paid, and she was completely uninsured until the next SAG re-enrollment period for 2015. She was a member of the Screen Actors Guild, SAG. That's where she got her insurance from. As a result, Doherty states, she did not visit the doctor regularly in 2014. One of the biggest stars in television in the 1990s, and she didn't see a doctor because she was worried how much it was going to cost, because healthcare costs a ridiculous amount of money in this country, especially if you don't have insurance. When she did return for a checkup in March 2015, doctors discovered that she had invasive breast cancer metastatic to at least one lymph node. She adds that she was told her cancer had spread during 2014, and had she been insured and able to visit her doctor, the cancer could potentially have been stopped, thus obviating the need for future treatment, mastectomy and chemotherapy, that she will likely have to suffer through now. And just in the last few days, now in 2024, Shannen Doherty died of breast cancer that she'd been fighting that whole time. And of course, the company, Tanner Mainstain, I don't know how this lawsuit was resolved or if it was resolved. They denied being at fault. It doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that a person who at one time was one of the biggest stars on television, one of the most famous people in America, possibly in the world at the time, someone with access to enormous amounts of resources, still came to a point in their lives where healthcare, the thing that can keep you alive and spot a disease and do something about it before it gets out of hand, that was too expensive for her because she didn't have insurance for a year. And if the Shannen Dohertys of the world are worried about paying for their health care and can't afford insurance, and so don't go to the doctors and eventually pass away because they didn't have access to health care, what's going to happen to the rest of us? What does that mean for us? This is why we need universal health care. Nobody's health care should lapse. It shouldn't be a question. This is important. This is so important. If it could happen to Shannen Doherty, it could happen to you. It shouldn't happen to anyone. We need universal health care. I want to thank you for listening today. I appreciate you doing that. If you want to reach us to message or talk to us, you can do that at 202-656-6271. You can go to facepalmamerica.com for past episodes and more information. And until next time, enjoy the day.
We live in a world of miracles. None of us knows God's plan or where life's adventure will take us. I want to thank Franklin.
The John Fugelsang podcast is now available 6 times a week with me, John Fugelsang. I've been murdered on CSI, picketed by Westboro Baptist Church, and host Tell Me Everything on SiriusXM Progress 127. You will hear authors, politicians, actors, filmmakers, rappers, rock stars, journalists, activists, unhinged callers, and way too many comedians. They all have a place on the John Fugelsang podcast, and so do you. The John Fugelsang podcast, fair and biased, find it on Apple Podcasts,